start.
What is this?
Here we go. Welcome to a very special
What is this game?
episode of How to Be Friends with Dave and Shawn. If you didn't notice,
Is everything
it's a little
sticky?
bit busy here. And so what's going on is we are getting into... Oh, hi, can you hear me?
I mean, your audio's cutting like in and out, but sure, I can hear you.
We're going to see how this goes. So yeah, again, this is your favorite garage cast. So we've decided to use Google Meet, provided for free via my college, on my computer that is not meant to handle this much problems. Graphics turned all the way down on the free-to-play game Paladins because we're poor.
And yeah, it's free to play. Which means it's only free to play if you're willing to have garbage equipment, unless you grind a lot.
Correct. Well,
they
thank heavens.
They can have my card number.
Credit where credit's due on this. They don't do like a lot of free-to-play games where there's like equipment that you don't get. Like it's not really a pay-to-win, unlike a lot of other ones, but it's still pretty good. Now, part of the reason we're doing this, it's fun, and do things that are fun. The other reason that we're doing it is we've had some rough weeks coming. We both got our headwinds. I got some rough news this week. Shawn is dealing with more challenges. So we want to kind of loosen up a little bit, but there are some people who just listen to all of this, so we want to talk about things while we're shooting apparently dwarves in the face.
Yeah, and I picked an angry troll with a gun fetish, which I really think fits me as a person.
It's not bad.
Just a small, hairy, angry man with a gun fetish.
So, for those of you looking at the presentation on my screen, we have a special guest in today's episode, the giant worm directly in front of me, under the name Blue Smashball. It's none other than my son, Sam. He has joined us just for the fun of it. And I'm not sure, he's just playing up for the camera because he's a good ham.
Ham.
So, it's a family affair. So, for those of you participating, we would still like to field your topics in the middle of this because we're middle-aged men playing video games for the heck of it. I'm not fond, for example, in the middle of this brouhaha about the idea of a global minimum tax rate, Shawn. How do you feel about that?
A global minimum tax rate?
Yeah, we're gonna spice it.
Like we're gonna choose a minimum amount of taxes? Really?
Yeah. Yep. So.
Oh, I fell off the edge of the map. Like that's dumb to make it global. When you talk global, are you talking about the U.S. or just like the entire Earth?
So that's a great question because it's the G7 countries, which of course are the only countries who play by rules. That's the way they're distinguished, right?
Of course, yeah.
So, let's see if I can do my big old... No, okay. So that being said, yeah, the idea is, so we live in the United States with a very old president who doesn't have a brain around him. And he wants to tax us to pay for all of the very expensive things. I shouldn't say he... I actually genuinely believe that he is just he's drinking his Ensure, and people are sticking things under his nose, and he's signing them.
You think they're just taking advantage of an old man? Like who was the old lady who was married to God? What was
Nancy? Are we talking about Nancy Reagan?
No, we're not talking about Nancy Reagan.
Yeah, I did it. I can poke fun. No, I'm not sure who you're referring to, but there's also a lot of indications that speaking of
that chick who was married to that old man, she was a Playboy model.
Oh, you're talking about Nicole.
Yeah, Anna Nicole Smith.
Anna Nicole Smith. Good for her, by the way. that was like the number one way to parlay a career of being a woman of loose morals. So, um,
He's my
yeah.
sugar daddy.
So things are just being tucked under his nose, and he's signing them, and he has handlers, and the handlers are just they're controlling him, and that's life. So he goes to the G7 summit, and because this is the course of things, he now has to collect taxes. So here's the thing, of course, people don't want the government taking their money, right?
Right.
So when you raise taxes in the United States, they go to other countries. So the solution for that is, okay, let's go to the G7 and let's do a minimum 50% tax rate among everyone, right? Meh. All right, whatever. By the way, don't forget to give people commendations to make it. I'm going to give you a commendation. Oh, you're the angry troll. Here, I'm going to applaud you. And we're going to go real people now, Shawn.
I don't know how to give people commendations.
You just did. So let's see. We did training. Okay, we're going to
Do I click on a person?
Yeah, if you're in there, you just click on the bottom thing, and then we'll get back to the global minimum tax. Don't worry. Okay, so the idea behind this is pretty simple. Countries will leave the United States if we tax them. Therefore, get with the G7, the group of 7 countries who follow the rules. Have them put a minimum tax rate in, and surely countries will stay in the U.S., right?
Right. Yeah. They'll stay in the U.S. because of a minimum global tax rate. That totally makes sense.
It truly does not. So that being said, there's 2 problems with this. Number one, businesses are going to go to Ireland. Guess who's not part of the G7?
Ireland.
Ireland. So if you're a country like Ireland or Taiwan or any of these other countries that are
Whoa.
Hey, we get stuff out of Taiwan. I'm not
Taiwan isn't a
Oh, I see. Okay, Taiwan is a country. I'm sorry. And if that gets our 20 followers pissed off, I'm just taking that on the But that being said,
let me John Cena this shit.
Right. You just you go to other countries. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is let me just get these things out right here. Number 2 is it's just screwing the United States because the other countries. So if you were Microsoft, right, and you set up an office in France, France still has to tax you 15%. Okay. But if Peugeot wants to set up an office here in the United States, we can't actually tax them. So other countries can take our company's money, but we can't necessarily take theirs.
Well, that's ridiculous. Why would we ever want to do that?
Because we are silly and broken. But that's not all. I also want to bring up the wonderful meeting that our dead president, our Weekend at Bernie's president had with the Bond villain. I just got wiped out. The Bond villain, Vladimir Putin. Did you perchance see how that went?
No.
So, President Biden, in his old weirdness, comes out hardlining against Russia, saying that there are, I think he said, 16 critical components that will not be targeted for cyber warfare, right?
Right.
16 items you don't touch. So let's just hand them a list of things that is really going to screw us up if get hit, because that's what that is. Isn't that great?
I don't know if I want the old people making decisions about technology. Like
Also,
the olds, I should say.
the olds, the oldest of olds.
Like,
I got my feet under me.
First of all, you can't give somebody like that'd be like, Shawn, I'm gonna explain to you why we need to do this about this thing that you can't possibly grasp. Like, we need to crack down on Facebook releasing people's personal information, and I don't know how to use Facebook. Like, I'm just gonna agree with you, right?
Right.
Like,
So for those of you who weren't
that nice Todd Zuckerberg said that he needs to collect information about what I search for in incognito mode to know what gives me boners.
there, oh no,
Because that's the way the internet works.
not wrong. Boy, I am. There we go. I was on a roll there, but no, I'm not.
Oof.
No, for those of you who don't remember those moments, there were wonderful moments in recent history where the Zuckerbot had to just go and explain how the internet works to flippin'
Right, which is
politicians.
yeah, and you probably don't want those politicians making those decisions about,
Everything.
yeah, everything when they have to be explained. And then especially when they choose to be explained how those things work by a billionaire who makes money off of them.
Or in other words, go to the used car salesman and ask him how the car works.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, how does this warranty work? Well, let me explain to you how it works. You're not going to tell me the truth.
That would be the vote for Pedro principle. All of your wildest dreams will come true.
I'm going to teach you how my liger works.
All of the internet's is amazing. It'll fix you're broken.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what this button does. I turn into a ball of some type.
Who are you using? I don't know. You're still the...
I'm throwing out turrets a lot. I know that much.
Oh, you're still the dwarfy dwarf. I don't know anything about you turning into the ball, but if you're moving quickly, like most characters have an evasive move,
I am not using that evasive move because he keeps turning me into a little spinning ball of person, and it's confusing the crap out of me.
Yeah, there's 4 abilities for each player, unless you pick really simple ones like the cop that I'm using or the tree that I occasionally use to heal. It's all good. But you're going to see Sam is the orc there with the lightning coming out of him, and he's doing a wonderful job. So I have to vent another thing, Shawn. And I might have told you about this. I might have sent a video to you. Did I tell you when I got the double whammy of 2 things I really dislike? What was it, yesterday or the day before?
What was it?
So I don't like masks, right?
Imagine nobody likes masks. Nobody likes them. Nobody said, "Oh, I got to wear this on my face. I'm so happy."
Right. However, I was pretty early on in saying, okay, what get along and do it, but I don't think it's going to work. And then the data finally came out that it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Right.
Okay, we're done with Onslaught. Let's do... All right, so I already thought it was
cool,
stupid to see people driving around all by themselves with their masks on. It's stupid.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's pretty dumb.
In fact, obviously there are people not thinking, if you're really worried about that, just put your air in your vehicle on recirculate and it'll be fine. It won't go anywhere.
Just live in your own stink, you animal.
Right. Where is... I don't have the tree healer. Okay, let's give this a try. This is not... Try to use a healer and it's not going to go well. Okay. So imagine my great disappointment when I see a person doing just that, driving around alone in a car by themselves, and it's a Jeep Wrangler with their top down.
Right. So, you know what? Maybe it's allergies. Maybe that's why they were wearing their mask. or dust.
In fact,
y'all get a lot of dust up there in Washington, don't you?
yeah, on account of how dry it is all the time.
Yeah.
I have moss growing on my back. You know. No, I actually just came upon this in the nursing studies because we had to look up stuff on masks. Come to find out that they're only like 30% effective at reducing allergens. Okay, I got to figure out how to heal. Okay, that's my shooty. Where's my healy? Oh, this is not going to go well. Okay, let's get this. Okay, good. That's how I heal. I just got it anyway. So yeah, I guess I'm just disappointed with humans in general.
I mean, we are, in fairness, we're really dumb creatures.
Yes, we are. I have no idea what my other buttons here are. Whew! It's not going well for me. What does this do? I don't know what this does. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Okay, got it. All right. So, and I'll go ahead and talk about this just a little bit. Just a little bit. In the stupidity of this, for my fans, I'll say I'm pretty disappointed because I'll frame it this way. I work hard at trying to be a really good dad. And there are naysayers that may watch this show and say that I'm not a good dad. You're wrong. Anyone who just heard me saying these things, you are objectively wrong. I'm a good dad. I'm not perfect. No dad is, except God.
What? I don't know if I agree with that, but okay.
Well, you have your choice of your pantheon of God, so I don't really want to hear that either, homie. It's like you just pick one that you think is.
I'm
good
just
dad.
saying. Can you imagine being like, "What do you want for Father's Day, Dad?" And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna take the entire sins of this group of people, and you gotta die for them."
Yeah, it's what do we call that? It's definitely tough parenting, but it kind of had
Well,
to be.
that's definitely tough love for sure.
Yeah, but it had to be to fulfill all righteousness. But to get back to the point, the stupidity of humans. Let's say I'm not a good dad. Let's say I'm a mediocre dad. Running off and removing that as an influence from your children's lives is still not going to be the best choice that you can make. I'm just putting that out in the universe. I'm not saying anything specifically. I'm just saying think before you act, people. And maybe this is related to the headwinds I'm facing. Maybe that's okay. Maybe it isn't. So when you're having tough times, play a video game with a friend. Keep your head down, do your work, reach out for extra resources, do whatever you can.
Extra resources?
If you need to do a little counseling, do a little counseling, a little mental health consult. I'm not saying I'm doing that just yet, but I'm thinking about it if I can find the time.
I got a reference for a psychiatrist. I don't know if my insurance is going to cover it, but I was like, I should talk to a therapist. And my doctor's like, well, you probably need medication. You should talk to a psychiatrist. I was like, wow, excellent. Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Hey, you know what? Better to have a doctor who cares and will like tell you the hard stuff than just be like, well, let's go through all of the non-pharmaceutical therapy we possibly can first, and then when you start the rifle, I'll second guess my decisions then.
Yeah, I mean, at least he's like, well, I guess you should probably talk to somebody that can, because you don't want to go to meet a therapist for like 5 times, and then they're like, well, actually, you need a psychiatrist because what you could really use is this medication, but I can't write you a prescription for it. And right. I'm like, Yeah, maybe, like all I care about is, can you send me to somebody that can help me work through like these stress and anxiety issues? But sure, send me a guy who can write me scripts. I don't care, whatever.
Really got to buy my group. Not good healing with.
I don't know really how to buy stuff, but I guess that's okay.
What in heaven's name is an Octavia? Sam just, all right, I guess I'll be the weird. See how this goes. Ooh. I didn't even figure out how to do all of my moves the last time.
I've been just punching all the buttons. I'm just button mashing.
And we won the last round, so, I mean, how much can we complain?
I don't know who. There's really not any heavy-set women in this game, is there?
No. I thought we were playing against real people. We're still playing against robots. No wonder we're winning.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's disappointing. I got to get us around against real people.
Oh, no. Let's not do that. No.
We're going to do it, Shawn. I think one of the rounds we did, but this is not going to go well for us. Okay, I need Chironos.
I have to press K to see my champion. Hello.
What
you doing? Oh, sweet. Getting a garbage bag? Cool.
Those of you who are listening and or watching, that was Shawn's adorable parenting voice. It's really cute. Being a person who served with our dear Shawn in the military and have heard his flippin' serious voice several times, it is really cute.
I don't use my serious voice that often. I'm not a big fan of it.
No, I understand. You want it to have. It's the same reason you don't go right to like spanking, for example.
Oh no!
You need to keep.
You got to have dinner first, maybe a drink. You don't jump straight into spanking.
Talking about parenting.
First of all, you got to receive consent.
Oh my. Which of course, where are we at for that? Any women listening? I'm gonna totally
on a scale of 0 to 10. How much do you want consent?
No. If a man is explicit about consent, I mean exactly what the Me Too movement wants. I'm about to have the physical act of love with you. Do you consent?
Oh my God. You made sex sound so unsexy just then.
On a scale?
I am about to have the physical act of love with you.
On a scale of 1 to Kevin Spacey,
let's turn my man pots into your lady pots.
Right. How much of a turnoff is that? Please, if you're a lady listening, comment, like, subscribe. I'm kidding.
Yeah, if you're a lady listening and a man was like, I'm about to have the physical act of sex with you.
Why was that in a
it sounds like it should be on Jersey
Arnold
Shore.
Voice.
I don't
gotcha.
know. I'm about to have the physical act of sex with you.
Speaking of a man who never got consent.
Put my man parts in your lady parts. Do you consent to me doing this? Perhaps you'd like a spanking.
They didn't really teach that much in Austria.
Might I give you a spanking?
I'm not able to do anything useful in terms of healing or victory. I have an ant crawling on my neck. I'm still fighting the ants, by the way.
Oh,
I'm winning, but I'm fighting them.
You know who we could ask that question to is that lady I was behind the other day with the feminist license plate.
Oh my goodness.
Like of all the things, like the only reason I can imagine she selected the feminist license plate was because CrossFit and vegan were already taken.
Oh, but did she get vaccinated? I bet she'd tell you about her vaccination experience.
She would. She'd be like, I don't eat animals. I do CrossFit. What's my WOT? Or what is it? WOD, workout of the day.
I unlocked Barrack. Zippity doo.
God, I hope this is important. My available balance in my account is at or below $29.66. Yeah, probably because Amazon continues to deduct my account.
Oh my gosh. I apologize for that.
Oh, I am so
We're up against some players.
fudging angry.
I'm sorry about that. I think they're giving us robots until we get better. Oh, heckles. That was another interesting. So the NFL continues to go woke, right? Cincinnati Bengals fan. So this came across when we. And Sam, you ready? Yeah, I think it's doing bots just because we're baby players.
It's like, you guys suck.
You want to come over and say hi? Because, I mean, you were already mentioned as a celebrity guest. That is the famous Blue Smash Ball. I'll actually also plug his channel. When this goes up, I'll put a link to it. He actually does animation. Pretty impressed.
Nice.
A little bit of graphic design, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So if you're interested in a nearly 15-year-old who can do that stuff, check out his channel. That's the thing. So this is the worst and the best podcast in the history of mankind.
Ugh.
NFL going woke, Shawn. All right.
Boo.
Yeah, I know. It's great. I honestly, I guess I'm just going to be into picking the healer each time.
Okay. You know what? We don't need to be woke with anything anymore. That's all I'm saying. Stop being woke.
Don't cancel people. All right, so here's the wokeness. All right. So NFL is taking a hard line about vaccinating. And I'm going to go ahead and say a couple of things. The first thing is, it is a gross ethics violation to compel people to have any medical intervention without properly informed consent. Okay, if you're just saying go get the vaccine or you're a bad person, that's not good informed consent and you're compelling people. It's a gross violation of ethics and it's immoral. Okay, educate people, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Educate people.
Yeah, because, how dare you be like, your child should have an MMR vaccine, and you should be like, educate me.
Right. You should every effort. And that's a good example because that's a good vaccine, right? So educate. If you run into a parent who is leery about their child getting, for example, an MMR vaccine, okay, don't be like, you have to get it for the better of society. You're a bad person if you don't. Instead, be like, it's benign. It doesn't cause problems. Your child is not going to get autism, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's what I'm saying about that. The vaccine, talk about the upsides. Don't be like, well, you have to get it to beat the coronavirus. The other thing as well is that if you've already had coronavirus, stop compelling people to get the vaccine. They have the antibodies. Studies so far are showing that's effective. It is also a gross medical ethical violation to say, okay, get this, whatever it is, this treatment, this surgery, whatever. Do not force a person to get a medical intervention that is not indicated. That is a gross ethics violation, okay? So, with that being said, now that I've framed it enough, the NFL said, okay, if you don't get your vaccine, you have to continue wearing masks, when you're not on the field. Okay, cool, whatever. You have to continue to socially distance, stick with distancing guidelines. Okay, whatever. I'm still kind of with you, right? However, if you're not vaccinated, you cannot participate in social media activities.
Okay.
What does that have to do with the vaccination?
Well, I don't know, but is this the NFL talking to their employees?
To their players.
Okay.
All right. You cannot participate in any sponsor activities if you're not vaccinated.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where I'm talking about compelling people, right? So I'm not saying NFL players need more money than their base pay. If you're warming the bench, you're making $250,000 a year, right? If you're just on the practice squad, just waiting for someone to get hurt, just showing up to your weekly practices, you make $250,000 a year. You've got no reason to complain. But do we say you can't earn any other money until you get vaccinated? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a D move. But honestly,
Right.
it doesn't surprise me because the NFL is pretty much a D group of people.
It is. The NFL is technically considered a not-for-profit organization, and that's one of the biggest bullcrap things I've ever learned in my life.
Like, I've always found it amazing that the NFL is like, oh, you beat your wife. That's cool. You don't get to play for a game. Like,
right. Is that player really so important that you're just going to say, cool, we'll see you next season?
yeah.
Dogfighting, do a stint in prison, come back and play again?
Yeah. Hey, I know Michael Vick's had a rough history, but he got his vaccination.
Ha!
He vaccinated his dogs.
Oh my gosh. And you're not wrong. He did. Oh, golly. So, of course, the moral of the story is the NFL doesn't have any competition, so they can get away with this, which is stupid. And of course, that being said, I'm also not out to say if someone's doing something politically that you don't agree with, boycott them, because I don't like that either. Just for heaven's sakes, don't cancel people who want to talk about this stuff, right?
Right.
If you've got someone like myself, for example, and cancel me if you want for what I've said about vaccinations, but I've hit both sides of it. I think I've been pretty fair by saying vaccinations are good. Get them with informed consent and without compelling people. Right?
Right.
So don't cancel people who you disagree with, but let people talk about it.
I'm going to get my vaccination so I can enter my state lottery.
What? Oh my gosh, that. And as a man who doesn't like taxes, I really don't like that.
You don't like the fact that the state is incentivizing people with a lottery?
They're taking taxpayer dollars from everyone and giving it to someone who's vaccinated. I cannot express to you how much that pisses me off.
We'll just get it from the government. I mean, I don't know where their money comes from, but I'm sure it's not taxpayers.
For crying out loud, I really would not. Video games are bringing out all of the unpopular opinions out of me. I would not have a problem with the government doing more things as a business. Oh, okay. We need to raise more money for lotteries for people to get vaccinated. Let me go ahead and sell a bunch of more guns to the Ukraine.
Yeah. So what you're saying is really the answer is Iran-Contra.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So much as I've, said to many people before, Oliver North is the hero we need.
Apparently. Dude had sand. I'm not condoning. I'm just saying we should look into it. Whew. I'll just stay right here. I mean, and I'll go both positions about it. I have examined okay, how much money are we giving to Israel, and do they really need all of that? How much money are we giving to NATO, and do we need all of that? How much? I'm not saying my positions are correct here. I'm just saying it's worth a question. If we ask questions and we find that the answers that we had before were fine, well, great. But no one should get mad at asking questions. Period. Hard stop.
Dear Israel, do you really need all this money?
Well, you don't. Their answer is always, okay, once again, that's another, this is going to be the vote for Pedro episode. That's another vote for Pedro principle. All of your wildest dreams, that's what they'll say. If you give us money, all of your wildest dreams will come true.
I mean, shouldn't it be fair if you're going to arm somebody and give them money for combat? I mean, shouldn't you just arm their opponent too?
Oh my gosh! Now we're talking about arena rules,
right? Like, if you give Israel a couple $100 million, shouldn't you have to give Palestine a couple $100 million?
Although the brouhaha would be hilarious, they already have their financial backers.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't make that many missiles selling bootleg DVDs to soldiers.
Yeah, I wonder how much of Iron Dome we funded.
Oh, you know what? Actually, this was really funny. It turns out the Iron Dome is Star Wars.
Yeah, it is the Star Wars program. Yeah.
I mean,
it's on a smaller scale because Star Wars was to stop ICBMs.
Right. Which is really funny because I was young. I don't remember. People were poo-pooing the Star Wars program like it was lunacy. And honestly, seeing how well it works for Israel, I hope that quietly we just implemented it regardless.
Yeah, we try it in Chicago first.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Chicago. Anyone listening in Chicago, I would say something about stop shooting each other, but instead I'm going to say move out. You'll get a nice place in Wyoming. It's cheaper. That being said,
move to Bozeman, Montana.
I mean, not bad. Just again, don't vote for the stupid things in Montana that made Michigan terrible. To get back to the point, so if we funded the Iron Dome, I don't have a problem with this. I really don't. Because we spent all of this money developing Star Wars, and if we didn't implement it ourselves, heck, it's got to go somewhere to use, right?
Right. Yeah, so just let somebody else use it. Just give it to somebody else. That totally makes sense.
We got time for about one more round, and then we can get...
Bro, help me on the damn point. What the fuck are you all doing?
Oh, is that someone talk? You know what? I already left the channel. But yeah. So for those of you who are not big gamers, this is one of the wonderful parts of online gaming, playing with 12-year-olds who are racist and threaten to do unsavory things to your mother.
Stop doing unsavory things to my mother.
It's classy. That last round. Oh, we did all of those. Let's do... Okay, let's do one more siege. That was. Let's hope someone else picks a healer this time, because I'm just dying at this healing. This is honestly pretty good. So, all right, for those of you who are still listening, still watching to this point, dig through the free games that you want to see Shawn and I play.
I like how they have to be free games.
Yeah, today I spent way too much money on video games for Sam and I because I want to bond with my son, and I want to bond with you too, Shawn. But I'm poor, so that's that. Let's pick him. So recommend free games you want us to play. I understand Shawn kind of liked, what was it? World of Warships or something that you played before?
Yeah, World of Warship. I don't think that's probably the most fun thing to watch.
I think we're still going to get some awful, awful commentary. It's just fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard for me to actually have a conversation and do this at the same time.
I'm doing just fine on my own. Thank you very much for listening. You're like my therapist over here.
Okay. Hey, I'm happy. As long as it's working out for you.
I'll pay you $10.
To pay $10. Hey,
I won't. I don't have
touch
that.
your butt.
Ooh, okay. That's how I throw my rockets. That's how I shoot my gun. Okay, good. I need to know that. And let's go ahead.
Let me off my horse. I don't want to be on a horse.
I want to talk about a bunch of things that on the normal video game channels would get us canceled. Critical race theory. I haven't asked Sam yet whether or not they're teaching that in middle school. I'm quite sure they'll get to it in high school.
What are they teaching him? What?
Critical race theory. The idea, I guess we'll introduce it a little bit here. The idea that racism is built into everything. Everything.
Oh, that sounds like a very woke idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we can go into it specifically, but I actually had an interesting conversation with my son about that today because of the fact that I am just getting they lit me up because of the fact that critical race theory is racist, Shawn. In fact, wokeness is racist. And this is something that might get me canceled. But the reason that it's racist is it is compartmentalizing us and placing different values on people based on their race. It's racist. That's racist. If you're going to go out and you know what, I'm going to use a race that isn't really around anymore just to make this stick a little bit better. And I'm going to use a race that's particularly racist. If you're a Spartan, right? And people come out and start saying, all Spartans have ruined the system. They have set it up for all the plebeians to fail. You wouldn't be wrong. You wouldn't be wrong because the Spartans were jerks. But you're still being racist because you're lumping everyone in a group and making judgments based on race alone. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay.
Sure.
No. You're busy getting shot at.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling it. I'm venting my opinions, and that's okay.
What are my buttons?
You're hilarious. You're a sweet child.
So what is
lost in brouhaha?
He is the big one? Okay. Yeah, no, I mean everything's racist nowadays. I don't even try anymore. Like it's not even worth it to me to try to figure out what is and isn't racist.
Yeah, don't bother. The fun question is, all right, this is what I was talking to my son about. He is 1/4 African American, right?
Right.
A mix of many other things, but we can at least say that he's 1/4 African American. Now, in the vocabulary that we're dealing with, where does that place him? Is he 75% oppressive or 25% oppressed, right? There's a hierarchy to things, right? If you're Jewish, for example, you are often lumped in with white people, which isn't true, right? Different challenges. If you are Asian, for example, sometimes you're lumped in with minorities if it fits a certain negative. Other times, like in college applications, you're specifically, what's the word? You are specifically given a harder path. You have to get higher scores with college applications. All right. So here's the point. Sam doesn't fit into a box.
Oh, he's way too big. Yes.
Right. I told him today, I specifically said to him, if someone tries to pull that crap of being like, well, you're only 1/4 this, so you don't have a right to talk, right? Or, you know, you don't have the experiences. I told Sam today, specifically, I said, okay, so because you don't fit in any box, these people can't talk about his experiences. They can't talk about it, what it's like. If we're grouping everyone, and you can't sit there and say, well, you can't this, you can't that, because you can't identify with his group. Do you see what I'm saying? Are you all right there?
I cannot do this.
You can't. What's wrong?
I cannot fucking focus on what you were saying and try to do this at the same time.
So this experiment of
At least not this game. I just can't.
fine, don't worry.
Yeah,
This experiment of how to be friends with Dave and Shawn will go under the
I mean, I could
failure
just keep
category.
saying to you, but honestly, it's
It'll be done soon. Don't worry. They're about to cap it.
it's actually it's my neck. My neck's just tight.
I'm sorry about that.
That wasn't like the lean back in my chair. Oh, I give up. It's just my neck hurts.
You got to sit back in your chair. You're too far forward.
Can't.
Anyway,
The other issue I'm having right now, I don't know about you, but it was like 110 today, and I have to turn off my fan and my air conditioning in my garage to record this, and it gets hot as nuggets.
really?
Yeah.
You know what? You might be able to hear. Might be able to hear my air conditioning.
It
in the
is.
background.
It is.
Yeah.
Let's make sure. It is currently 97 outside.
I'm gonna go ahead and kill this paladins, and we'll have a few brief comments because we don't have a whole lot of time. But yeah, in an effort to be friends, to have fun, to do our thing together, you should do experiments like this as friends. You certainly should. Let me see if I can stop presenting my screen as much.
Are we still in the game? What are we doing?
I exited the game, so just you and I right now.
Okay. Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, you're so big in my screen. Why?
That's
Jesus.
what you said.
Fuck.
Hey,
Just full screen, David.
watch your language. Mom
Sorry.
and Daddy Sutherland are going to be watching you. So
Sorry.
yeah, this was a little experiment.
We could try a different game, I think.
Yes.
Maybe like a turn-based game. What about like Magic the Gathering or something?
We could do Magic the Gathering. We could do. Oh my goodness, what's Hearthstone? There's a lot we can do, and like I've said, we are really. This is.
Is your air conditioning running?
Shh. How dare you?
Okay.
How dare you?
It's funny as you can only hear it when you talk and your mic actually activates. You sound kind of like a robot.
So disappointed. But yeah, we're only like 26 episodes in. There are hidden episodes now. Last week's episode, I just wasn't able to work that out. That didn't go up. Our original pilot episode, that didn't go up. This is an evolving podcast.
I had to unsubscribe after that because I realized that being subscribed, it would come up on my YouTube feed, and Keith is always on YouTube, and I was like,
We lost a subscriber because of you.
Yeah, once he gets his birthday gift, I'll add the subscription back. But I was like, David's gonna pick the screenshot with me wearing that thing on my face, and Keith's gonna see it. The jig is up.
That was some forward thinking. Honestly, for those of you looking to be career criminals, it is that attention to detail that you need.
Yeah, if you're looking to be a career criminal, don't be on a podcast and talk about your criminal activity. That's probably the first.
Fun fact related to that: Carry conceal owners are like the least crime committing people on the planet. They actually statistically commit less crimes than cops.
Who do?
Conceal carry permit holders.
Okay.
So now I wonder where the world of podcasters are.
What?
You really are broken, aren't you?
No, your audio's so jacked, dude. I couldn't even
It's the
understand
headphones.
what you said.
We're gonna see how this comes through.
Something about where something is.
I'm trying to use this microphone.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they suck, don't they? It's so hard to make those work unless you eat it. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh,
God.
see, that was very clear.
Someone on audio just. So, guys, okay, anyone who has survived at this point,
We'll figure this out.
it is an experimental episode. I'm like I said, I'm gonna plug Sam. Jump on board and it's a hangout. Stop yawning on my podcast. This will not be quite a whole hour long. This is process. This is one of the first episodes. Okay, you ASMR geeks out there, you enjoy that.
Can you hear it?
Take the cover off and lick your microphone.
Oh, let's see. I don't know how that's gonna. Okay, first I'll rub my beard against it.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay.
Getting tingles out there, people.
Yeah, and then I don't think this will do anything.
Your tongue is slightly yellow. You need to stop smoking.
It's probably the coloring on the.
I'm just trying to get you to stop smoking.
I do need to stop smoking. Let me jump on stop. Let me stop smoking while I'm trying to figure out how to be mentally fucking stable. Throw that one into the mix.
That's right. So yes, actually, this was a ton of fun. Shawn, sincerely, thank you for playing with me.
Oh no, yeah, no, sorry. It's just that is never a game that I have. That type of game, like even Call of Duty, I don't.
Yeah.
If I had my Xbox controller and it was compatible, maybe.
So yes, it is compatible, but we'll leave that there for a moment. If you guys want to see Paladins again, cool. I think ahead for Hearthstone. I had a lot of fun with that. We'll do that next time.
Oh yeah, Hearthstone's the card one, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm up for that.
We'll continue to talk about things that are objectively not offensive, but will offend people.
Yeah, just by default.
We're going to continue to talk about things that we shouldn't get canceled for, but we probably will because we have 20 viewers every week, and
at least one of them's going to report us.
Yeah. Just like some people are going to always be trolls. I
haven't seen any comments from Donkey Face in a while.
Holy heck, bless your heart. We'll see what happens. So in the meantime, we're gonna close this up. We didn't quite make it to our normal hour, but
that's okay. I have to pee again.
All right. You know what? Okay, as a friend, I'm telling you, when you go pee, go ahead and have a seat, take a break.
Yeah, fully empty my bladder.
Yeah, just take it.
It's good for your bladder.
I'm gonna make some dinner.
I'm gonna go eat some chicken.
Thank you for playing, Shawn. I have this nice. Oh, I hope you have that too.
I did. It was just I can't do both. At least not that. I can't. It's too hard. Shawn, no good at that anymore. I used to be really good at multitasking, but apparently I'm not good at it anymore at all.
This is okay. I keep trying to wrap this up, and I'm not. That brings us back to the topic that we talked about before: neuroplasticity. Keep challenging yourselves, people. Keep challenging your brain.
Juggle.
Stop yawning on. Okay, guys. Shawn needs to pee and go to bed. We're gonna let him go. All right. Good night, Shawn.
Good night, Dave. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.